Yo, Flurs, what's up? It's good to see you all. Thank you all for coming. I'm glad you could make it. Tonight's going to be an exciting and awesome stream. We got Michael Korn, Alve Paul, PJ Cruikshank, and Brian Stavely in the house. How you guys doing?
Yo. Good evening.
Good, man. Oh, good.
So, we're going to be Mandela affected again. I've been looking for a long time for this stream, so it's great to have you here, Brian. I really do enjoy your presentations, and yeah, tell the people who you are if they don't know. I don't know if they've been hiding under a rock or something, but
so I do a show called Dose of Reality, and I've been doing this for almost 14 years now. Only on YouTube since 2018, but I've been doing podcasts talking about these types of things that we all come across since 2010. And I started with 9/11, and we won't go too deep into that right now. But I started with 9/11 and got really heavy into the media fakery aspects of it early on. And I've been preaching from the rooftops about that for many years, for people to not live in fear over fabrications. And getting past that, when you start to, it's kind of a snowball thing. So I started looking at Apollo in 2011. So by 2011, I knew that NASA was not legit. I still thought we lived on a ball at that time, but I didn't believe that we went to the moon or anything like that. And then there was the thing in Connecticut at the school, which we're not going to talk about. There was the thing in Boston and all these other type of events. And then the more and more you look, you come to realize that everything they're presenting you is fake. And then, of course, ISS, satellites in space, globe Earth, what's been going on the last 4 years. So everything they presented to us about this reality has been a lie. Now, since 2018, I've been really heavy. I'll back up a couple of years. I took a break in 2014, but in 2014, I still looking at 9/11 and stuff, doing a lot of shows. Then I started to see some interesting, because I saw a disinformation piece about the flat Earth in the summer of 2014, which was early because a lot of the flat Earth channels, as you guys know, they all came out basically in the spring of 2015. So YouTube was already promoting the disinfo ahead of the explosion, And the video I saw was actually like 4 years old. So they had put it up in like 2010. When I saw that video, though, one of the first things they said in the video, it's a 3-minute hit piece. It's got the freaking oceans going off the edge of the earth. The sun's going underneath it, the whole thing, right? But they started by showing a spacewalk. And they said, flat earth, this thing, NASA's imagery is fake. I know pictures can be photoshopped, but to think all their imagery is fake. And right when I heard that, I was like, I already didn't believe in the ISS, right? I still thought they were doing something about going to space, but I didn't believe in the space station. And I was getting into the satellites and space ideas. And I heard this, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. Because without me going too far into it, and I'll be doing another show on it soon, I believe that all the imagery we were presented on 9/11 was fabricated. So I was like, ding, ding, ding. Of course their imagery is all fake. Why wouldn't it be all fake? It should be fake until proven otherwise. And as you guys all well know, because you hammer on the topic so much, you do know that all their imagery is fake. So that's one of those cases I think it's good to bring up, because it shows you that even the disinfo pieces, the people that are really, in tune a little bit, or even if we're not there yet, they can provide a little thought, a little spark to us, and we'll be like, well, wait a minute. What? You know what I mean? Well, that doesn't make any sense. So it was a few months after that, and this will bring us up to the Mandela Effect really soon. A few months after that was the first time I talked about it on my show. I talked about it with my co-hosts. And then in December of 2014, I had a guy on my channel. Actually, I was on his channel for an interview. And he brought up the flat Earth and started making different points about it and said he had known about it for 10 years. And then, just a few months after that, and as you guys know, there's just a ton of information to go through, especially back in the earlier days of it. I mean, there's just endless information to take in, right? And I had heard about the Mandela Effect shortly after. And when I heard about the Mandela Effect, I was presented with Berenstein Bears, now being Berenstain Bears. I used to own the books. I don't care what anybody says. You're not going to gaslight me. I know it was the Berenstein Bears. In fact, if it was never the Berenstein Bears and it was always the Berenstain, why were there so many conversations where people were confused about to pronounce it Berenstein or Berenstein? Mm-hmm. That would have never happened.
I also remember it as Berenstein. That's for sure. And I mean...
Yeah, so, yeah. So that I realized and kind of understood what the concept of the Mandela effect was, that these changes are retroactive. They go all the way back to the origin point and include all the official copies of everything. They're all going to say Berenstain. But like I said, I was really heavy into the flat earth stuff at the same time. So it took me a few more months. And I know some people might be listening to the show right now, and maybe it's taken them a few more years to get into this topic, because it is mind blowing. But let it be known, the flat earth isn't the finish line. Neither is the Mandela effect. We don't know what's going to happen when we die. We don't know where we're going next. We don't even know the other questions to ask about, like, these other aspects that we don't know yet. It never ends. You know, I thought 9/11 being a sham was the biggest thing ever. And then it just keeps going. Oh, we didn't go to the moon? Oh, there's no globe? Oh,
Yeah.
reality is fluid, and reality is fluid. And, you know, what else got me really heavy into it a few months later is when I came to the realization that there's huge historical and geographical changes. And there are a couple of them I got hit with, and we can get into that soon or whenever. And once I saw that and realized that the land masses of the earth were in the wrong position, and everybody, guys, everybody on this panel, we know that maps are made with all sorts of different intent. There's all sorts of deceit. We know the images are fake. We know Google Earth's fake. Like, yeah, we understand all that. But when I'm talking about the land masses of the earth change, I'm talking about every old map and globe in existence, including the one that was in your classroom that you used to stare at every day in the globe in your basement. So that's what made me really like, whoa, this is huge. So, you know, I've been talking about both of these topics for several years, you know, but I wasn't on YouTube yet. I was taking a break. You know, the vitriol, you know, there's a lot of, like you guys see in the flat earth community, for example, a lot of people don't get along, but in 9/11, it was so much worse. Some of you guys might have no idea. Like, everybody was just, it was so toxic. I stepped away from doing shows. It forced me to be like, you know what, fuck this, you know? So I kept talking about these things on Facebook and stuff, and posting on Facebook about these things. But then in 2018, I ended up hopping on a roundtable, Mandela Effect roundtable, on a guy called Brian McFarland's channel. He would do, like, you know, open panel type Mandela Effect shows. And after doing just a couple of them, I'm like, you know what, I need to do my own shows. And then I started putting content on my channel in the summer of 2018, talking mostly about the Mandela Effect, obviously talking about the flat earth a lot. I've covered a lot about what went on in the last 4 years, because that's right up my alley. More fabrications to keep people in fear. And I'm going to show them that there's nothing to be afraid of. I don't want to go too far into that, because we know YouTube sucks, and that's not really the topic today. But I do cover these other things when I feel they're that big. But for me right now, the Mandela Effect is the biggest thing I've ever seen. It's definitely real. I know a lot of people don't resonate with it yet, but they're all affected by it. You all live in this reality, and there are changes in this reality. So that's a long intro. Sorry.
Would you? No stress, man. You are awesome, and I really appreciate all the input you bring on the subject. One thing that gets me though is, why is there so much pushback on the subject, even in the flat Earth arena? I mean, you would think, even based on the flat Earth, you've come to the realization that so much we've been lied, and there's so much that's wrong and stuff. How would you have the mindset still that, even with all the evidence presented about the Mandela effect, no, it's just false? I just don't get that.
Especially when it's so in your face, when it's so seeable. It's so there, isn't it? It's there for everybody to see. Everybody knows Monopoly Man had a monocle. You know what I mean? Everybody. I mean, for us in the UK, we don't really. I don't know about anybody else, but in America, Bernstein Bears was a big one, obviously. But in the UK, it's not. We never really heard of that. But when it came to the Monopoly Man, yeah, absolutely. As soon as we had that was it. I was intrigued from there on. So it's so in your face. So how can you be denied that? I mean, Brian.
It's very in your face, and like some of the changes, you know, and without even getting to the bigger stuff yet. I mean, something like the Monopoly Man. I mean, everybody knows he had a freaking monocle, and it's referenced all the time. People aren't referencing it all the time in various shows and in various conversations and Halloween costumes and all this, because it was never the case. It's exactly what happened.
Exactly.
See, here's the thing. You're not losing your mind. Okay, that's the mainstream tricks. Okay, and I've never seen so many articles come out like we have in the last few years about how your memory sucks, your memory's failing you, and all this. Even if they don't use the words Mandela effect, it's like an attack on the mind and on the memory. And there is loads of disinformation. But here's the thing. When I show that people are Mandela affected, I think they're not really thinking about what that even means. When I say it, because everybody has a different definition, but everybody's affected by this. So when I point out, hey, you're Mandela affected, that's never happened, or this was never said that way, I'm not calling you an idiot. I'm actually saying, I agree with you. I remember what you do. Reality, the people that present this reality, the people that are in mainstream science, mainstream media, the people that gave us the fake globe, these are the people that are telling you something's wrong with your mind and reality is solid and physical only and there's no supernatural. I'm like, the supernatural is happening now. I don't understand how the flat earthers, the Christians, all these people shut it down when they claim to believe in the supernatural. Well, here it is. It's here now. It's happening right in your face, you know?
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
And you know, best thing about people who deny it actually say things that never existed in programs, and they talk about products and stuff that have never existed. You know what I mean?
All of them. I mean, how many times have I shown people that deny the Mandela effect over and over and over, repeating things that never existed? And again, I'm not calling you an idiot. I'm trying to show you, right? I'm trying to show you that, look, I remember what you do. So does all these other people. So does 99 out of 100 people if I ask them randomly, and I do stuff like that on the streets, even with pastors and preachers and all sorts of subject matter experts, right? But on top of that, not only do our memories all corroborate each other word for word on so many things, here's a shit ton of physical evidence, which we call residue, that backs up our memories. And some of it goes back as far as 800 years, 1,000 years, hundreds of years on other things, piles and piles of physical residue of all different sorts. And that's what you should be thinking about. It's like, okay, I've read all these articles on the Mandela effect. They talk about all these products and stuff. And we haven't got there yet, but he's talking about geography changes and anatomy changes. They don't ever talk about that. Oh, and the other thing they never talk about in the articles, and this is where you have to see that they're disingenuous. If you can recognize this information, even if you hate the Mandela effect, and I know there's some people that'll watch this that probably hate it and despise it. Even if you hate the Mandela effect, have you gained discernment in your journey of truth and been able to see when people are trying to mislead you on something? Because even if you hate the Mandela effect, you know that I talk about physical residue, physical evidence that corroborates all our memories. None of these articles that ever talk about the Mandela effect ever even discuss residue. And they'll never tell you, they never tell you that many, and I would say, dare say, most people that I know that are into this, we think it's of a supernatural aspect. And they'll never mention that. They'll tell you it's CERN, it's D-Wave, because they want to tell you that science is better than man. And if there's any glitches in this reality, they'd rather have you think there's nothing. But if you do realize something, they want you to give credit to them and their machines. And there is no God.
Yeah. I got some people in the chat that they say they're on board to try and understand it. Do you want us to quickly test it out? I got a perfect one that we can quickly do. 3CPO's leg.
I've been talking so much. I'm sorry.
No stress, man. Because I want to quickly test some out on the guys in chat. By the way, thanks all for coming. It's good to see you. All the new people that say hi to. Thanks to Brian, you guys rock. It's good to see you guys.
Well, if you're going to test people, all I'll say is don't give people multiple choice, because then deniers will just say, well, you implanted that in their head. Phrase the questions in ways in which they need to fill in a blank with no choices given, nothing flashed on the screen.
Yeah.
That's how you really gauge.
Yeah, all I'm going to say is, what was the color of 3CPO's legs? That's all. Then we'll wait a few minutes before we give you the actual answer for you guys.
And I got some physical residue in my hand that I'd like to show after we give that answer.
Yeah, and Michael also has.
I've got some.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, what was 3CPO's legs colors? This should be interesting.
But it's also good to look into what the claim about it is and why it is what it is in the rhetoric. Do you know what I mean? Because there's a reason why his leg's different.
Yeah.
Gold and one silver.
We've got 2 people saying gold. 3 people gold. TB wasn't a Star Wars fan. Another gold.
See, thing is, in England, like it were every Christmas, every Easter. Do you know what I mean? You were shovel-fed Star Wars all through the 80s.
200 times I must have watched the original one. I used to keep count. It was well over 100. Once it hit HBO, I would, you might be around my age. I'm 46.
Yeah,
when that hit HBO, HBO became a thing in cable TV just like a few years after Star Wars came out in 77, like very early 80s. It was on HBO all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Watched it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, I was like, me and my brother, we were like religiously watching Star Wars over and over. It was like our thing to do.
I mean, I had everything. I had Millennium Falcon, I had alt figures, I had alt little spaceships, I had everything.
And Flats, if you want, I think it'd be even more shocking if we just showed them. And if you want to give me the screen
Yeah,
share
you
in
go
a
ahead.
second,
Yeah, you can screen share.
Yeah.
I think we can do it
So
because
I'm
a
gonna
lot of.
show you. Now, to specify, we're talking about the original trilogy, which is obviously the three biggest movies and three of the biggest movies of all time. I think that should be noted because we're not saying, hey, people, there's a Mandela Effect in my uncle's graduation video, and you're just going to have to believe me on it, right? We're talking about the biggest things in the world that are the most recognizable things, that people know. Okay, so if you can give me the screen, I will show people what he looks like now. This is C-3PO now in the original trilogy.
Wow.
There is no way he had a silver leg in my reality. Now, one of the first things that people will say is when they, first off, almost everybody remembers gold, as we saw in your chat, right? And then once you tell them, no, he's always had a silver leg, the first thing they'll go to is, well, in Empire Strikes Back, he was blown apart and Chewbacca had to put him back together, and then they put him apart different. And then the other thing that you'll hear, and this was actually pushed and promoted by the actor that plays C-3PO, Anthony Daniels, in 2016, just like this Flat Earth Disinfo video I told you about 2014, in 2016, all of a sudden, after 30, 40 years or whatever, Star Wars, USA Today decides to interview Anthony Daniels and ask him about what's up with his silver leg and how come nobody ever noticed that he's always had a silver leg. And he goes into this explanation that, well, he always had a silver leg. And in fact, one day, the only reason people didn't see it is because Star Wars was shot on the desert and the silver was reflecting the sand and looked like gold. Well, that's not in the desert, what I just showed you. Mm-hmm. And this right here is from the opening scene, which completely debunks the idea that it's because Empire Strikes Back, the second movie, he was blown apart and they put him back together with silver. No, he has silver right here in the opening scene. He's never had a silver leg in my reality.
And there's even some more residue if they want to see. Michael has actual printed.
So I've got.
Go ahead, Michael.
Oh yeah. Let Michael show then.
That's the scene Brian was just talking about.
Yeah.
And you've seen. Hold on.
Maybe share your screen quickly. Oh yeah, can't really. Yeah.
We've got to hold it up to camera light.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to see, but I can photograph it. Anybody wants to see it.
There we go. Put it down a bit.
Yeah, down a little bit.
Left a bit.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Check there.
They are both gold.
They're both gold, exactly. Yeah. And then Brian as well. Brian is actual. Wow. Is that mint? And it's still in the box.
Yeah, put me on the big screen. Put me on the big screen.
I'm trying. It doesn't want to allow me to though. Don't know why. Oh, then maybe I can put it that way.
Move the cursor over me somewhere.
Because I want to get too big. It just doesn't. Solo layout.
What if you?
There we go.
There you go.
Okay.
So this doll right here is a 12-inch C-3PO doll. Okay. And before I get into really showing you the stuff, I just want to show you that on the back, and I do have photos, I've uploaded them, and I know cameras are blurry when we do this, but it does say 1997 Lucasfilm, which is 2 years before the prequels even came out. So the reason I'm doing this is to show you that it's clearly original trilogy, clearly all original trilogy only characters. I mean, some of these guys did make it onto other movies, but this is not from the prequels or the other movies where he might have two gold legs. Now he's always had a silver leg in the original trilogy. But here's the interesting part. Denier excuse number 4 on C-3PO, why he doesn't have why we're able to present residue, right, with all this gold, right? And why Michael has the book where he's all gold and there's no silver. They literally act like silver paint was hard to come by. I'm not even kidding, dude. They just couldn't get the silver paint. Yeah. So check this out. This is a very intricately designed C3PO, and so intricately designed and so much detail that look at the individual colors and all the wiring in its belly.
Yeah.
So you're gonna tell me that they could do all this, but they couldn't just
Paint the leg silver. It's insane.
Oh,
Yeah.
and when you see it in the chrome, when you see it in just the silver kind of chrome, it looks odd. When you see it in that film where he's sitting on that chair next to them dude, the other dude, it's odd looking. It's not right.
You can go on eBay and type in Star Wars Generation 1 and you'll find like 1983, 84 figures, C3PO, no silver leg.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's insane. So I don't know if that's not evidence for the people in chat, then I don't know. I mean, there's so many we can go through. I mean, even like you guys said, when it comes to the A-Team truck.
The problem is for people, it's this supernatural thing. They just can't accept it. I don't think, and it's sad to say that most people realize this is a created place. There's a God, supernatural, but supernatural things can't happen.
Yeah, it's crazy. And Mandela Effect's a crazy thing. I understand why it's hard to grasp, but it's so evident that it's there. You know what I mean? There's no denying it. And there's so many different types as well. Like all of a sudden you had this thing. I never had a black tom until you mentioned it, Brian. Ever had a black tom?
No.
And that's
PJ, nobody has. Nobody I've ever spoken to has ever.
Crazy.
I mean, the first one I heard was Crocodile Dundee, and we used to play it at school. Running around saying, "That's not a knife. This is a knife."
I remember that.
You know what I mean?
And again, lots of residue for that. There's so much residue for all of these. Everybody knows that's not a knife. This is a knife.
And I remember,
now he's never said that.
And I remember seeing it. If I think about it now, I can see it in my mind. I can see that playing out.
It doesn't even make sense to say it. Because the idea is that's not a knife. This is a knife. But it says that's not a knife. That's a knife. It doesn't even make sense to be saying it like that.
A big one for me was say Scary Movie as well, though, where he says, "I see dead people." When he did say, "I see white people," because it makes no sense to just repeat the joke of Sixth Sense, does it? That's not parodying it. That's just repeating it.
Well, not even repeat the joke, because in some movies they will parody and do things exactly as other movies. But the whole purpose of the line in Scary Movie was to take a serious line from the other movie and make it funny. So how are you changing the whole mood of it? If it's not any change.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Let's. I'm gonna get a screen share from you again if I can, because I think we should get right into some big stuff right now, right off the bat, and we can get.
Yeah, before you start, I just want to say, a bigger pick. I think it's from your channel. He's asking if anybody on the panel has channels that they can subscribe to. Yes, PJ Cruikshank and Michael has.
We all have.
Everybody has. I'm sure Paul will also put the links in for you guys. Do go and subscribe. Really much appreciated. Okay, so you ready for your presentation? I'm going to put you on.
Yeah, a little bit.
There we go.
Just a little geography real quick. Not a super long presentation, but there's the lovely blue marble that you all love and adore so much. So
Beautiful.
I understand, just for the audience out there, I clearly and highly understand that all the imagery we're given is fake. We don't live on this thing that they're showing us here, okay? But the purpose of showing you is just to show you what it is now in this reality. But we're going to ask a couple questions first. So for me, right, when I told you Berenstein Bears, and then later I was hit with history and geography, this is the geography, and we're just going to talk about a couple of them. Because when I say that this has changed, so I'm going to ask people their memory. And if you remember what we do, but you think the Mandela Effect is a psyop, then you would be able to go pull out an old map of globe that shows what we all remember. But you're not going to be able to do that. So I'm going to ask the audience and people that already know about this, just go with what you always remembered before you realized that things had changed. What do you guys always remember? The location. I want the chat to answer. The location. If I were to ask you South America's location in relation to North America, what would you say?
Us in here.
What's
or
up?
in YouTube chat. In here or in YouTube chat.
In the YouTube chat. Hang on with you guys. I'm going to ask them one more question on top of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that we were looking for the location of North America, a location of South America as compared to North America. Where would you say it is? And what direction would you say the water runs for the Panama Canal? Two very simple questions that should instantly, you should have an answer in your head. Go ahead and put those answers in the chat. Where is South America in relation to North America? And what direction does the Panama Canal run? What about you guys?
Yeah.
What do you always remember? What do you always remember? Don't give away the answer to the change.
I always remember it being a different way from what it is now. I'll just put my answers. I'll put my answer in the chat.
I'll say south.
Sort of thing.
I always remember, like, yeah.
Yeah, I remember America, South America being directly south, and the Panama would have gone east to west.
East to west, yeah.
And I remember the same as all of you, and I imagine the chat's filling up with south.
I mean,
You would all be.
To me, it looked like you could have put a ruler at the side, and like North America and South America were pretty much in a straight line. That's how I remember it.
Yeah.
And let's have a look now at current reality.
Craziness.
Look where South America is, everybody. It's almost not even underneath North America at all. It was way over here before. Now the west coast of South America is barely under the east coast of the United States. And not only that, look at the Panama Canal, because this has moved so far over towards Africa now. Okay, the Panama Canal used to connect up here. This is the Panama Canal used to run east and west. Panama Canal is now basically north and south because Panama Canal is connecting over to the west side of South America. So this is gigantic for me now. I want you to think, if you've always thought the Mandela Effect's a psyop, you answered south, or you remembered south, honestly, and there will be some people that will hesitate to answer because they hate the Mandela Effect. They'll look up the current reality and just type it in the chat. So you got to be aware of people that come in really late with the answer, and it's the new reality, right? I know how the gig works with these people, right? But if you remember South America like we do, and it should be over here, and the Panama Canal should be east and west, like over here, guess what? You're highly Mandela affected. But guess what? On top of that, I understand that the maps are fake, the globes are fake, this Google Earth thing is shit. They lied to us about where we live. But if the Mandela Effect is a psyop, you would be able to go pull out the globe that's been in your basement for 30 years, or go pull out a map of the world that's in an encyclopedia in your house, and you would be able to show us that South America is indeed underneath North America with the Panama Canal running east and west, which means they just changed the information. And that's just this, at least this one is just a psyop, and they just changed all the books and maps. But guess what? You can't do that.
It's crazy.
Retroactive reality shift to the land masses of the world. Now I got one more, and a couple people might have seen it come on screen. It was impossible to not show it, but I want people in the chat to answer. Where is Cuba? Give me the size and the location of Cuba as compared to, say, Florida. Now I know a lot of your crowd is UK, so they might not know Florida too well, but they probably have an idea. And Cuba, for me, I should just let them answer. Are you guys familiar with this one? I think we talked about it.
Yeah, we spoke about it on the last Mandela show, yeah. So I'm just going to keep quiet, Rolder.
Yeah, so for me, Cuba was a small island to the southeast of Florida. And now Cuba is this gigantic island.
It's crazy.
It's like as big as Florida. And it's drifted so far west, or grown so far west, it's blocking the Gulf of Mexico.
But it just doesn't make
it's
sense.
It's about twice as long than what I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even I'd say 3 times.
It's crazy.
And Squirrel Sniper in the chat wrote, Dolly's always had braces. And I know Squirrel Sniper is very aware about the Mandela effects as well. But what's interesting is there's a crowd of people I call the Dolly's braces crowd, because they won't dig into the Mandela effect. They'll tell you they know Dolly had braces, but then they'll just like stop there as if there's no more. Dude, the land masses of the earth are in the wrong position. So if the land masses of the earth are in the wrong position, right? Who else could do that other than the creator of this realm? I don't believe it's CERN or a simulation or a D-Wave computer. No.
It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, when you were doing geography class, it was definitely South America, I remember, was straight down. wasn't at an angle that way at all.
Exactly. That's the other thing too. It wasn't hooked over like this. It was down. The Panama Canal was east and west. You know, there's a guy that interviewed me. They were on a panel like this. It was 3 guys were interviewing me about the Mandela Effect. And all of a sudden, this guy starts talking about how he was in the Navy and he was stationed in the Panama Canal. And then he started talking about the way the locks worked and everything. And I thought, is this guy like switching to like a flat Earth conversation? Because I know I talk about that too, even though it was a Mandela interview. And then I just said to him, so how long were you stationed there for the Navy? He said 6 years in the Panama Canal. I said, what direction does the water run? He said east to west. Yeah, east to west, just like we remember.
It's crazy.
Just like when I walk up to pastors and preachers on the street, people selling Bible courses and Jehovah's Witnesses, every single Bible change I quiz them on, they quote it the old way, which has now never existed.
Yeah, and they love the
Every
line
time.
and the lamb. They love the line and the lamb thing.
Well, that were the, like, I'd heard all these Mandela effects, and you know, I'd seen film changes and that, and you know, it was always in my mind, well, maybe they'd tampered with him and this and other. But then I saw my Bible change where to our gather.
Lost geographic.
Yeah.
I was studying with Jehovah's Witnesses at the time.
Did you guys give a link to this Lost Geographic? Do you know him, Brian? Lost Geographic.
Who?
Lost Geographic.
Yeah, I know who he is.
Can I let him
Why is he
in?
in the chat?
No, because he's in, yeah. I don't know how he got the link for the StreamYard there. But I'm going to let him in.
Oh,
Hey, Lost, what's up?
Yeah, so like
What's
I
up,
was studying,
fellas? What's up, Brian?
I was studying with Jehovah's Witnesses, and we'd just done a study on where to our gather, and then all of a sudden I seen Brian talking about it about 6 months after, and I'm like, "No, Brian, mate, you're wrong." So I went, goes gets me Bible, opens it up. Lo and behold, 2 or 3, and that was it for me. Then, like, it was like, wow, my Bible's changed, and you can talk about misremembering, whatever you want to say, but when you see physical things change, there's no. It's like when you come to flat Earth, you don't go back to globe. When you have physical things change and in your property, you don't go to it being like misremembering. It's just it don't happen.
yeah. You can't undo it. You can't unknow it. You know what I mean? You can't unbelieve it. I don't think it's there. There's no denying it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. How's it going, Lost? Good to see you, man.
What's up, guys? What's up, Flatzoids? I was just searching Mandela Effect live videos, right? And I saw you guys were live. I saw Brian on there. I was like, oh, let me join. So,
It's good to see you, man.
yeah, I got the link from the. You could. Your link is at the.
Oh, yeah. Duh. I forgot about it. That's
So
good to see you.
anybody could literally just join. So
Anyway, yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I agree with Brian. As soon as it's funny he mentions as soon as I tuned into the video, he was talking about geography changes, and so it's funny he was talking about geography when those are my favorite Mandela effects, geography, and yeah. So actually, I have a website that talks about geographic Mandela effects. It's lostgeographic.com. I recently launched it. Yeah, a lot of the world's land masses have changed. Islands have disappeared. Continents have shifted, like he was mentioning. Shapes and sizes have changed. And these are my favorite Mandela effects because they're not man-made, right?
That's it.
This is non-man-made Mandela effects, and the only ones that are not, the only other ones that are not man-made is I got a list here. I forgot. Human anatomy changes. Obviously, we can't make our own body. And what other ones is there?
Well, by not man-made, you mean the things that are changed aren't made, right? Because I would argue that even the products and other things, like the ones that are legit Mandela effects, that's not a man-made Mandela. Like for people that are like tuning in, it's not like people physically changed something and then promoted it out there.
I'm not sure which one. What are you referring to?
So, like when you say geography ones are some of the only ones that aren't man-made, well, I wouldn't say the Monopoly one is man-made either. I would say it's a Mandela effect to a physical item that was man-made,
Right. Well, depending on how Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, we remember the monocle, and some people don't. But at the end of the day, that's still man-made. You get what I'm saying? The
Yeah, but for the
monopoly, the
people that are new,
monopoly, the monopoly game is man-made. Geography,
yeah,
landmasses
yeah,
is not
yeah,
man-made. You get what I'm
exactly.
saying there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
get what you're saying. I'm
yeah,
just
so
clarifying for new people because there's a lot of people that don't even think it's a real thing. So if you say these are only ones that aren't man-made in their mind, they might be thinking, "Oh, man-made." So all these products and movies and all these types of changes, somebody man-made these Mandela effects. I know
oh,
that's not what you meant. I was just
okay,
clarifying.
okay,
But
gotcha.
map projections are definitely
I never thought
man-made.
about it that way. Thanks for clarification, though. But yeah, it's geography, planets, anything in space, human anatomy, and animals. Right? We can't make animals, so those are the. I've looked through all the Mandela effects that I have, and everyone that they've been talking about. Those are the only things that are non-man-made. And my favorite ones are the geography ones. Right? So so yeah, I mean, the biggest ones for me is Costa Rica. It's no longer an island. Gibraltar is no longer an island. I went to these two places as well. Are you guys from the UK? I heard Brian mention that.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
PJ, Michael,
You
and
guys
Paul.
remember Gibraltar being an island by any chance? Gibraltar, the British
I thought
overseas
Gibraltar was
territory.
an island. I
Yeah, it
actually thought
was. Now it's
Gibraltar.
a peninsula, yeah.
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 So many people, including myself, remember Gibraltar being an island. So I actually went there to do a documentary a year and a half ago to investigate this phenomenon. I literally spent a couple $1,000s just to go investigate this, and so it's surprising the overwhelming amount of evidence that supports this case or our memories that it was an island in
Yeah.
in another reality that we experienced, right? And so, I've come up with a lot of theories, which I believe are discoveries. The reason why we're actually still seeing reality residue of, because I found a lot of reality residue. I have books in my closet right behind me that prove that it's referring to Gibraltar as an island. Maybe I could present it here. You know, I'll show you guys.
Yeah, you can if you want to see
That,
your screen.
yeah. Okay. Sure. Hold on. Give me a second.
But I'm sure Brian's also going to want to get onto with his presentation. So, Brian, would you mind 5 minutes to show us and then you go on with your presentation?
Oh, we can go wherever you want with it. I didn't have anything specific
okay.
to present, but
Because it'll be interesting to see what the island of
Yeah,
Gibraltar
I'm sure like people who aren't sure on it, I'd like to see this residue regarding land mass changes.
Yeah,
And
because this is the first time I've heard of this one.
The
Yeah.
issue with
Alright,
map projections is that no one actually knows what the Earth looks like, so they're always been
These
true.
are things that you can actually buy on Amazon or eBay, right?
Right.
Oh,
Right? So you can,
sorry.
look it up yourself. So here's a book. Can you see it?
I'm just trying to get you on the full screen. What? There we go.
no,
No.
it's you.
That's you, Flats.
Yeah, I'm trying to get him on. How did I get you on, Brian, earlier?
I don't remember how you did it.
I'm not used to using StreamYard stuff, guys. Solo layer, there we go. Sorry.
Oh, there we
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Perfect. All right. So if you guys didn't know any better, would you think Gibraltar is an island based off this book?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. It's referring to Gibraltar as an island, even though it's not an island. If you look at the back, it's not an island, it's a peninsula.
Wow.
Right? So see the fact that we're seeing islands, it's proving that reality is actually a blend of realities, and so we're still able to see information from the world in which Gibraltar is an island. The fact that it still says island, that means that world still exists, except we can't see it no more. We can only see bits of information from that world. It's essentially part of a hidden world now. So there's hidden worlds in which everything we remember is part of a hidden world now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a nickname for Gibraltar. It's called the Rock of Gibraltar.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
rock control, I remember that as well.
Yeah. I don't know if you would mind after I show you these Gibraltar reality residue. I created an official trailer. Like it looks professional.
Oh, yeah,
Something
yeah.
I'm trying to promote to National Geographic and History Channel. I'm trying to market this to them to explain my discovery to them because this is huge. Because if we could, they're trying to solve a lot of ancient civilizations and stuff. There's so many mysteries that can't be explained. What we have to do is connect the Mandela effect to ancient civilizations. I believe with the Mandela effect, we can actually answer a lot of these ancient mysteries that we haven't been able to solve. And I explained that in the video. Let me show you this video book first. So this one is called "The Sea Is My Grave" by John L.D. Barnett. You can purchase this on Amazon, which I did. Page 73 is the residue. Let's see.
While you're getting that page, I just want to say thank you, 4Jacks, for gifting a membership and for renewing your membership. You rock, man. Okay.
You guys want to read anyone want to read the bottom paragraph?
It's a bit difficult.
I can't see it properly. Hold on.
It's going out of
Okay. You can't read it for real?
the temp. It's sort of. It just gets a bit blurry.
Okay.
The people.
Hold on.
Yeah, you're gonna have to read it for us. It's a bit difficult.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Wow. That's strange because I can see it on my screen. Okay. So it says it mentions island 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
It says Bill and the rest of the crew enjoyed a few days shore leave and took time to explore the rock on the island. Bill had always wanted to take a look at the Gibraltar monkeys who had been under the care of the British Army since 1915 until the present date. A British officer was appointed to supervise their welfare. If you go a little bit down, it says all new births among the monkey population on the island were given names and mentioned in true military fashion in the Gazette. The people of the island of Gibraltar believed that as long as Gibraltar monkeys existed on the island, the territory would always remain under British rule.
Yep, definitely island.
Residue. It mentions Gibraltar as an island 4 times right there in that one paragraph. And I didn't read the whole entire book, but maybe it mentions it more times.
That's
right?
crazy.
Should I share my screen
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you can see, so we can watch the official trailer?
Okay, sure. Do you have a YouTube channel or anything?
Yeah, it's at Lost Geographic. All you type in is the @ symbol at Lost Geographic, one word, at Lost Geographic. You can type in youtube.com at Lost Geographic. Should I share or you want to present it?
No, you can present it. I'm just getting your channel link quickly for everybody and sticking it in. Okay, guys, this is his
gotcha.
channel link. Then you can subscribe.
Appreciate
I'm subscribing there. Whoop whoop. Cool.
Okay, so let me share screen real quick. Okay, here we go.
Paul's put it in there.
Can you see my share?
Not yet. There we go. Okay.
Hold on, my bad. There's a commercial here.
This house and everything.
Gibraltar.
Wait, hold on. I gotta. Let's make this at least 720. Bring that back.
Gibraltar. The rugged outpost standing sentinel at the crossroads of 2 continents.
Can you hear?
Yeah. We can hear you.
Air and naval base situated near the southern tip of the Iberian Peninsula and the western mouth of the Mediterranean Sea. A striking landmass connected to Spain by a narrow isthmus to the north.
What?
Wow.
Or is it? Gibraltar.
There we go.
The rugged outpost standing sentinel at the crossroads of 2 continents. Countless people all over the globe share a collective memory of Gibraltar not as a peninsula,
Gibraltar, near the southernmost tip of Spain,
but distinctly as an island.
Lots of people have had that misconception.
It's an astonishing phenomenon that explorer and geography enthusiast Enrique has been actively investigating.
Yes.
They think it's an island?
They think it's an island.
Gibraltar's principal land route to Spain was along a narrow corridor. There's one strait. They still call it straits.
Enrique believes that Gibraltar is indeed an island, but an island that simultaneously exists in a hidden world, unseen by the naked eye. And Enrique has amassed a wealth of evidence to support his claims.
Well, when you cross the border of Gibraltar and Spain, there's something more behind that border that we're not able to see. Have you ever heard of something called the Mandela Effect?
Yeah.
Where people have memories of an alternate universe. A lot of people remember looking at Gibraltar on maps as an island, and it would actually show it separated by lots of water in between Spain and Morocco.
Through the lens of the Mandela Effect, particularly in people's memories of the world map, Enrique is convinced we can finally decipher the mysteries surrounding ancient civilizations and their settlements scattered throughout the world. From the enigmatic monolithic statues on Easter Island, to the intricate stone structures of Nan Madol, to ancient pyramids on opposite sides of the world, embark on an epic journey with Enrique as he unravels the mysteries of a vanished world, on a bold quest to decode hidden realms and draw new maps by connecting ancient memories.
Epic, dude. Epic.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, man. It's good.
Guys, and then I was going to say
awesome.
thank you, Miss Mod, for the £10 super chat. Really, really appreciate it. Channel support from me and PJ. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate all the support on the channel. You guys rock.
Are you going to get back to doing some presenting, Brian?
So that okay, my bad.
Yeah.
Sure. What did you want to talk about? I forgot what we were at. We talked a little bit about geography.
I was thinking maybe the A-Team, the bus. I love the A-Team's van thing.
Well, you should have Michael lead on that because
Yeah.
it's a big. I mean, I recognize it, but
Well, I met a guy who lives near me a couple of years back, and he says to me, "Have you seen A-Team van Mandela Effect?" I'm like, "No, what do you mean?" And he says, "You go on Google and type in A-Team van and have a look." So I went on Google, typed in A-Team van, pops up. It's black, it's got a red stripe, and then everything above that red stripe's grey. Now, I'm same age as Brian, I'm 45. Early 80s, I was playing with A-Team, I was watching A-Team. That van were all black. It just had one red stripe down the side. I've got a book, just like I have with Star Wars, from 1984.
That's right. Yeah.
so
Nice.
yeah. So that goes to show again. What's that?
Did you see it?
Yeah, it was gray on the top in the book, right?
No, it's all
No,
black.
it's black. It's
Oh,
just
okay.
it's just the lighting, but it's all black. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you want to just Google it, Flatzoid.
Okay, I'll
18
quickly do
van,
it,
so
yeah.
people can get an idea what it looks like. So anyway, I went and looked back at some old footage at A-Team, and sure enough, it's got a grey roof light, but I never remember it being like that. I had A-Team van as a toy. If you go on eBay and type in original A-Team van toy, you'll find that it's all black with a red stripe.
Yeah, my brother had one as a kid, and it was all black. It was red.
I made a video about
the grey paint, Michael. It's just too expensive.
yeah. I made a video about it, and some guy messaged me and said, I used to paint vans back in 80s, and everybody were coming to me for the van painting black with a red stripe.
Yeah. I just want to say thank
Like
you,
with
Matthew.
The JFK thing, you have all these people giving JFK tours. Even this guy in Dallas takes people around in a 4-seater limo, charges them hundreds of dollars to tour the JFK thing. But now there's 6 people in the car and 3 rows of seats. You know?
Really weird.
Yeah.
So I want to say thank you, Matthew, for your £5 super chat, man. Really appreciate the support. It says for appreciation, man, respect, and God bless. Blessings to you, man. Thank you very much. Look at these vans. They all have silver on the top.
Yeah.
Can you show them screenshots I sent you in Element?
Element. Let's see. Let's see if I can quickly get it up.
I wasn't huge into A-Team, but Mr. T is a shill against the Mandela Effect now. If anybody didn't see his commercial, he did Skechers. He has this whole thing with Skechers now, and they're like, you think there's a T in Skechers? There was never a T in Skechers, fool. I'm the only T in Skechers.
It's funny, Brian, how some of these people that are directly involved with Mandela affected things speak out against it.
You know?
Yeah. Well, look at the way Sinbad is spoken out. And,
Sinbad, yeah.
Yeah. That guy
I mean,
is weird.
What's the guy who did Darth Vader? Errol James, is it? Something like that?
James
Darth
Earl
Vader.
Jones.
James Earl. Yeah. Even when he's
I mean, in the movie, yes, now it says, no, no, I am your father. But he repeats it in an interview himself, saying, Luke, I am your father. He
He
repeats
not
it
only
himself.
repeats it. He not only repeats it. The context of the interview is he's talking about. And that's when I was reading the script, and when I came to the part that says, "Luke, I am your father," like it's very descriptive of what he was doing. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah, the reason why I believe the reason why we're still able to see that though, the way we remember it with him saying Luke, the way he's saying it, is because like I said before, reality is a blend of reality. So we're actually, that's what we're looking at when we see that. We're seeing the film him not saying Luke, and we're actually seeing him saying Luke somewhere else. It's a blend. Everything in reality is a blend of realities, hidden worlds. If that makes sense.
So almost like parallel kind of things.
Yeah, so there's other universes or realities, whatever you want to call it. Essentially, that's what reality is.
Yeah,
It's a blend.
yeah. I'm on the way of saying it's
Everything is
just
a blend.
spiritual.
It's kind of like, think of it like Alice in Wonderland. That's where we are. We're in Alice in Wonderland. That's why we're seeing all these changes.
Yeah, and with me, I'm more on the line saying it's a spiritual thing. It's being revealed to people in a certain way, and because the reality is being changed
I think
spiritually.
it's one reality.
Yeah, it's a
In my opinion, it's one reality. But,
yeah, it's one reality, but the information, everything is information. You're looking at blends of hidden worlds.
So check this out. Let me give you an example. Let's say I walked up to 100 people, right, and asked them Matthew 18:20, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, damn near 100 of them are going to tell me two or more. If it was a blended reality, shouldn't we have like a mixture of answers on so many of these big Mandela effects rather than such a close to unanimous?
Yeah, you'll have a mix of answers for sure. Everything you'll have a mix of answers. Everyone's not going to remember what you remember. There's going to be at least one person or a group of people, a small group of people, no matter the size, that are not going to remember what we remember.
Oh, I know there's always going to be a mix, but I'm saying if it was a bunch of realities bleeding together, wouldn't the mix be more even across the board between the different realities rather than the one that we're experiencing? It seems that, on these bigger Mandela effects, it's like 80-90% of people remember it all the same way that we've ever been in this reality. Shouldn't we only have like a fraction of that? Do you know what I mean? Like maybe only 10% of us remember it that way, 10% from the other bleeding in reality remember it another way, 10% from another reality remember it another way. I don't know. I might not just understand, this is complicated stuff too.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give you an example. I know for a fact there's 3 realities for Chick-fil-A, right? There's a reality where we remember CHIC. There's another one where a lot of people swear they saw CHIK. So there's more than just 2 realities for every single thing. It's just we can't see them. It's kind of like my theory is that the only reason why we're only able to see like maybe 2 or 3 realities for every Mandela effect at most is because we're kind of like on like a certain like our soul is like on a frequency or some kind of frequency. I can't explain it. Maybe I should write it on paper, but our soul is kind of like on a frequency, and the more I guess we travel down this frequency, maybe we're able to enter other frequencies where we open up our consciousness to other realities where things exist differently more. If that makes sense. I should actually write an article on this.
I mean, thing for me is we can only speculate on what's causing it, and I think we're not to lose sight of that it's happening. You know what I mean? That's the main thing. It's happening, and get people to realize that something is afoot. But we can. I mean, I've got my beliefs as a Christian. I don't believe in alternate realities and stuff like that. But
I think
nobody can prove either way whose speculation's real or not.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it is happening, as you say, and it's observed. So
I did an interesting social experiment 2 days ago in Times Square here in New York City, where I don't know if you guys know the song "Titanium" by David Guetta.
Yeah?
Okay, who is it featuring?
I am titanium. Isn't it Rihanna?
Who's it? Okay, oh, you see that? Okay, this is recorded. Okay, anyone else have a different answer? A female artist.
I'm not familiar with it. I hate when I don't have an answer because I just don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so who said Rihanna? Flatzoid, was that you?
Yeah, I remember it was Rihanna.
That's funny how you mentioned it because I want to present it now to you, the video. But actually, that's my memory too. But if you look it up, it's never been Rihanna. It's always been Sia.
No.
Yeah, it's never been Rihanna. This is crazy that you mentioned Rihanna, so it's perfect.
Because I remember as Rihanna when it came out.
Yeah, it was Rihanna. Like it was always Rihanna. Look it up. Look it up on YouTube. Type in Titanium.
And check this out.
But, it's never been her. Let me look for the video. I want to present it. It's a social experiment I did. It's really interesting.
I'm not sure of that one. Never heard of
And Flatzoid, while you're doing that, give me the screen share for 1 second. I want you
Okay,
to
yeah,
just look at something before you look at that. I want you to look at something before you even look at that.
Okay,
It has to do with this.
That's fine.
Because Rihanna is also a Mandela effect, because Rihanna's name used to be spelled Rhianna.
Yeah, double
but
N.
now her name has changed. Now her name has changed, and the H is after the I, and it's Rihanna, like this.
Yeah, you're right. You.
The
This is like hitting me now. Yeah. What?
I wanted to show you that before you looked up her name, but yeah, her name's already was Mandela affected years ago.
Did you find the song Flatzoid?
They
Did you
checked,
see
yeah,
it's not
Titanium
featuring,
featuring Sia.
Rihanna no more? You see that? It's never been
What?
Rihanna. It doesn't exist. Never happened. So can I screen share my social experiment?
Yeah, you can probably do.
Yeah. Share screen.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Glad
Every time
said
you,
Rihanna. This is perfect.
it's like new ones
Yeah.
get hit every time.
Yeah. Okay. So you see my screen?
Yes, we do.
Okay, perfect. So here I'm going around Times Square, and actually I explain what I'm doing. So let's just watch it.
Why you got such little subscribers there, dude?
You here?
Yeah, you should have more than 20 odd subscribers.
He's got 39 now.
I've just.
Can you
Oh,
hear?
that nine. You've just gone up that 11.
Yeah.
Since I was there.
Yeah, we can hear it.
Okay, perfect.
Rihanna. Who? Rihanna. Rihanna, bro. It's Rihanna? You think it's Rihanna? It's Sia. It's never been Rihanna. Yeah, all right, so who is it? Rihanna. Rihanna? How sure are you? How about you? I'm sure. Rihanna? Well, look, it's never been Rihanna. It's been Sia. Oh. What did you say? I'm saying with Rihanna. You said Rihanna. I didn't even say anything, right? Right. But you could swear it's Rihanna, right? Yes. You swear it's Rihanna too? Yeah, well, it's actually always been Sia. They're correct.
Okay.
Rihanna?
Yeah.
Nah, it's never been Rihanna. It's always been Sia.
It's crazy.
On a 1 to 10, how sure are you it's Rihanna? 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. 8? It's actually Sia. It's never been Rihanna.
Okay.
But everyone says Sia.
How do all these young people not know?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Who? Who? Rihanna? Yeah, how sure are you it's Rihanna? Okay, DJ. 100%. 100%? It's never been Rihanna. It's always been Sia.
It's crazy. Okay, I'm just scared of the music in the background now because of the live stream and stuff. YouTube is a bit weird when it comes to copyright.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's.
Also, that was Rihanna.
But that's insane.
I honestly don't. I ain't got a clue, but you'd
I
think
don't know
all
what
them.
song it is. If I heard the song, then
Titanium.
I might. Yeah, but I don't. I know the song. I can see the title.
You'd think young people would know though.
Yeah.
So you can watch the rest of the video. I don't want to show it because it's
Okay,
really
awesome.
long.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
almost an hour
Because I
long.
see it's nice and long as well.
So I caught the best ones. I put the best ones in the beginning, but you're going to see a lot of people throughout the video say Rihanna too, what we remember. And their reactions are priceless, some of them. My favorite one was with the two black ladies, one wearing the red jacket and the other one to the left of her wearing the black jacket. They're from Barbados. Where's Rihanna from? Barbados. They immediately answered Rihanna. And then when I showed them that it wasn't, look at their expressions on their face. It was priceless. They're like,
Yeah.
what the? They're from Barbados. They remember exactly what we remember.
Because I remember the
Everything
music
we
video and
had.
everything, seeing Rihanna in there. That's how I was like, what?
Yeah. So everyone's reaction is priceless in there, and now it's giving me more ideas. I'm gonna do more social experiments with other. I have the other musical Mandela effects that I haven't released yet, and I'm gonna do more social experiments, and then I'm gonna make a video analyzing these answers. And I believe I could back up my theories on what I've done, what I've come to realize with these social experiments.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Wow.
so it's never been Rihanna. It's Sia now. And I remember, if you listen to the song, what's crazy is that if you listen to the song, the style the same. The
Everything
vibe
is
the same,
Rihanna.
the lyrics is the same. if you would be in the car listening to this song, you would think it's Rihanna still, but no, it's not her. It's Sia. And that's the crazy part. Is like the Mandela effect is hidden. It's very clever how the Mandela effect hides itself, right? And so it's Sia now. If you listen to it though, because every time I've been listening to the song every day. I'm like, man, that's crazy. Like, if you listen to the Sia version now, you can tell that it's Sia now. If you listen to it closely, you could tell it's someone different. But I remember Rihanna, and Rihanna's voice was epic. She killed that song. Like she murdered that song. She was a beast on that song. Like, you know what I mean? Like now I would say like Rihanna sang that song much better. Her vocals and high pitch was amazing. Now with Sia, it's like, yeah, it's great. Don't get me wrong. It's like,
But it's just not the original.
It's not the original. It's not Rihanna, no.
Yeah.
It's not Rihanna, no. But if you didn't know any better and you would like be anywhere and you heard that song, oh yeah, that's Rihanna. Like, you saw those two people, the kid and his mother, they both looked at each other in the face. How sure are you? They looked at each other in the face. They're like, we're sure 100%. They immediately said Rihanna. And I shocked them when I showed them, no, it's Sia. So.
Wow.
Exactly.
I'm going to have to listen to the song after just to remind myself of it, to see what I would have said.
Yeah.
But I mean,
so a lot of people are gonna see Sia. There's people who have always known that. Yeah.
But I mean, at things like this that come up, and you're like, how can people see stuff like this and just say, oh no, Mandela Effect is fake. You guys are just very gullible. It's like
that's it.
It doesn't make sense. There's so much. I mean, last time when Brian was here as well, and he gave his whole presentation on the different things. I mean, Brian has like, I'm sure, gigs worth of information on this, on different categories based on this as well. And then it's insane how you can't be honest with yourself and say you haven't had something affect you in something.
And many of those people are the same people that will mock people still believing in NASA and everything else. And it's like you're in the same type of mindset. That's why I said it's the same thing. You're going against what you've experienced and observed, and what you've and your own senses, your memory. I know it might not be listed as one of the so-called 5 senses, but it's certainly a sense. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't listed. I don't know. But they want you to think that that's failing, and you're just going to roll with that. You're going to roll with the presented reality. The physical only. At the beginning of the show, you asked me a question, and you asked, why do you think a lot of people in the flat Earth community can't see it? And you kind of passed it around a little bit. Well, one of the big reasons is a lot of people, they got too trapped into the exact scientific only mindset, that they're trying to fight against, just because they think because this is the supernatural. This is outside of the physical. So you're not going to be able to measure this and equate it, but you just need to be honest with yourself. A lot of people won't even look at it because they say it doesn't fit within the scientific method. Well, obviously, if that's the case, then the scientific method doesn't cover everything. And we know they don't cover the supernatural. I mean, they'll tell you that, right? So, okay, I'm sorry. You have to be able to get outside of that box, I've talked about this for years. It's one of the things that's boggled my mind the most. Because people are going from one paradigm to the next, and I've been seeing it for years and years and years,
Yeah, because the scientific method only deals with the natural, and what we're dealing with here is definitely supernatural, so it's above nature, so we're not be able to use the scientific method based on this.
Why would you want to deny your own reality? Like, everybody that denies the Mandela Effect is still affected by it on hundreds of changes, dare I say. You get me in a room with any of them for a conversation, and I'll roll over them with so many changes. Is it going to be all the same changes as all of us? No. That's another mystery of it. How do we not see all the exact same changes, but we see most of them, a large, huge amount of the same ones, those of us that are aware that this is taking place. And then you come to find out it's not just the Mandela Effect crowd, it's the majority of the population. People come into my work. A few weeks ago, this girl was new. She had just finished training, and I'm a bartender now for those that don't know. So she was bartending with me. I was kind of showing her a few things. And she asked me something about my schedule, whatever. I said, I only work 3 nights a weekend. So then the conversation always, and this goes with customers too, well, what else do you do? So I have a podcast, and I've been doing that for years. I do that, and I do this. So what do you talk about? Okay. So depending on the climate of the situation, I usually say Mandela Effect. A lot during the last 4 years, of course, I said the C word, right? Talk about that. Well, I told her Mandela Effect. She looked me dead in the face and she said, I know for a fact Chick-fil-A never had a K on it. I know for a fact. And I went the other day, I don't know if you saw, but I did 2 short videos. I went to Food Lion because there's a Mandela Effect to do with the spice called turmeric. If anybody knows turmeric, I want you to type how it's spelled in the chat. Okay? Type how you remember that spice always being spelled in the chat. So this is an old change, Flatzoid, right?
Turmeric.
Yeah. Anytime I go to one of these, I pronounce it weird too. Everybody tells me. Every time I go to one of these stores, I look to see like if there's any residue of a Mandela affected product. Like we know, like all these things that have changed, like Stouffer's that's changed. Gordon's Fisherman is now Gorton's. You know, Haas avocados, which we'll talk about for a second.
Haas avocados, yeah.
Yeah, so I looked at the turmeric, right? And for people that don't know, and I see the way people are typing it in the chat, it's not spelled like that anymore. Turmeric now has 2 R's in it. So it's pronounced turmeric, Turmeric. So when I look at it, of course, because anything that's a real Mandela effect, well, all the official thing is going to change. All the official products retroactively all the way throughout what we call time, whatever that is, right? So they're all changed. So the bottle from the company, of course, says turmeric on it. But underneath it, let me turn my camera on, sorry. Underneath it, there's this white label with a barcode that's from the grocery store, the Food Lion grocery store, barcode, and they printed from their machines, you know, not from the company that makes the spice. And it said turmeric without the second R, just the way we remember. So I did a video and I showed people. And I said, well, I'm also going to go willing to bet that if I come back here and buy this, I'm going to get a receipt printed out for something which allegedly never existed and people say we have no evidence of. Because what happens with these grocery stores is time and time again, the products from the companies will change, but in their own computer systems, they haven't updated, which is also the case with Haas in many stores. Mm-hmm. But I went back, I did another video, I went back and bought the turmeric, right? Got my receipt. And my receipt, which I'll go get it in a second when I'm done talking. It says turmeric on it with no second R, just the way we remember. We have endless amounts of significant evidence that the Mandela effect is real. And by the way, it matches what you already remember anyways. You're just being dishonest with a lot of you motherfuckers. That's the crazy fucking mind-boggling part about it.
Exactly.
And then I did another video like a day later because Haas avocados has never existed now. Now, if I ask anybody, and I do this everywhere, especially when I'm in California where they're super popular, everybody eats avocados out there. It's like a huge thing, right? What's the most famous type of avocado? And if they don't know, I say it begins with an H, right? Oh, they'll be like Haas, Haas. Now it's always been HASS. Well, in the English language, we don't really ever put 2 A's together and say ha, any word like that, right? But HASS rhymes with Haas. Why would we ever misconstrue it? Everybody say Haas in unison, spell this word with a double A in the middle for no reason. Well, needless to say, the same thing has happened over the years where I've shown that Kroger's, Walmart, even though they're selling you Haas avocados, their computers still haven't updated on that change, and you'll get a receipt just like I did for a Haas avocado. Well, on top of that, Stop and Shop, which is another grocery store out here, they just did a video this week advertising Haas avocados, HAAS, on the screen, saying the word Haas. But if you go there, you're not going to find one. Mm-hmm. That's significant.
I think evidence. I think you actually showed the packaging of it.
I got that. Yeah, I got one for the avocado. Yeah, I'm going to show you the turmeric thing. I'll get it in a minute. I'll have to run in my kitchen because it's pledged in a book. But I have the receipt. I have the receipt from the Food Lion.
It's crazy.
We have tons of evidence like this. Dude, we have patents for the Procter & Gamble change because Procter & Gamble was always Procter, ending in an OR, Proctor. Now it's Procter with an ER. And just like with Haas, it changes somebody's name and their whole family because Haas Avocados was named after Rudolf Haas, who's now Rudolf Haas. So his whole family lineage has changed. It's another change that's in German, and that word in German means to hate. And there's all these German Mandela effects and things to do with Germany on why that is, we don't know. they somehow tied into this. People speculated all sorts of ideas, time travel, machines, whatever. I don't believe in that, but I'm willing to hear out any ideas. And there's definitely a German connection to the Mandela effect. You have Black Tom, which now there's the biggest man-made explosion in the history of the world. All of a sudden happened, besides nuclear, quote unquote, happened in New York City. 1916, with German spies now snuck in through New Jersey, blew off 1 million pounds of fucking TNT, damaged the statue so bad that nobody I bring it up to has ever heard of it. Nobody. If there was one person that was a random person on the internet that left like a comment once and said they did, but people will just say that, but nobody I've ever asked face to face. I've even had people like Skype me through on the down low when they were talking to history professors and all this. And it just goes on and on with the German Mandela effects. It's crazy, bro. Even the brand. So Haas is German, Volkswagen is German, right? These German attacks, Torpedo Alley, all these attacks on U.S. soil by Germany now. You have the Hindenburg disaster where now there's double the amount of survivors as there are people that perished on it. Are you fucking kidding me? That was never the case.
So you believe Germany has something to do with the whole Mandela effect?
I don't really know what it's trying to show us.
Specifically Germany? Because I hear a lot of people saying there's a German connection. I don't know what that means. And I would have to disagree based on that statement. Like, there's a German connection.
It seems to be a lot of focus on German and stuff to do with like.
I think we're just more aware of Germany because Germany played a significant part of history. So
yeah, could be that.
More aware of, history based on Germany. That's it. I don't think it's specifically tied to Germany in any way, shape, or form.
Could be.
It's worldwide.
I don't think the Germans. I was just saying some people think those. I don't think the Germans causing it. Straight up, I think the creator of this realm, call it God, call it what you want. I think that is what's causing the Mandela effect. And is there a possibility that our consciousness is doing some of it? Maybe. I think if that's the case, we're probably inadvertently making some changes because we don't know how to really harness all that yet. I don't think there's I don't think like the Nazis have some machine but I understand that a lot of people think those ideas of Nazis took technology to Antarctica, does this tie in? I'm just throwing stuff out there that some other people believe. It's not my take, but I do see a lot of German stuff,
Yeah, I personally don't believe it's the God who's behind it. I believe it's a little G God, the little G God of this world who's behind it. Because it causes discord between people, and I don't believe God does that. So.
Yeah, it could be. A lot of people definitely think it's Satan. But that's the other thing too. Remember, I said they won't mention that in any of the articles against the Mandela effect. They won't tell you that some people think it's God, some people think it's Satan, when in fact many, a huge majority of people do indeed believe that.
Hey, Flatzoids, can I share my screen real quick? I'd like to share something.
Yeah, sure. There we go.
So this is my new website, lostgeographic.com. You can go there by also typing lostgeo.com for short. So this is the ancient memories page. A lot of these images you see behind me are photoshopped according to my memories. Dwight Eisenhower used to be on a 10-cent dime. Theodore Roosevelt used to have a monocle. The plane engines used to be underneath the wing, not completely underneath the wing, but they used to stick out just a little bit. And this is the JFK assassination. Do you guys remember this?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a 4-seater, only 2 rows, and now if you look at it, it's always been and it was in black and white. Now it's always been in color. There's 3 rows and 6 people in the car. So this is my memory. This is how I remember learning that day. It was like
that is crazy with 6 people.
And he got shot once, JFK. He got shot in the forehead, and that's it. He got shot twice now. He got shot in the forehead and in the neck. That's how he died. Mm-hmm. So a Mandela Effect researcher believes that our memories serve as evidence of hidden worlds invisible to the naked eye. I believe that's exactly what we're looking at. These realities in which we remember these things existing, it's not gone. It's still there, except we can't see it. It's part of hidden world now. So these are a lot of my memories right here. I don't know if you guys relate to this one. Bob Marley. Who sings Red Red Wine? You guys are from UK?
Yeah, UB40, yeah?
UB40.
I remember Bob Marley, and I present a lot of evidence in my video on my YouTube channel. It was Bob Marley who sang this, not UK. No, it was never a UK reggae band. So here's the Rihanna article. I decode some of them. A lot of these have messages in them. Not all of them have messages, but some of them have messages, and I try to decode them in my articles. But here
was Chris Rock never Wasn't he donkey?
Oh, okay. So do you remember him being a donkey, a voice in Shrek?
What?
No, I remember. I remember.
Eddie
No, I
Murphy?
remember. I thought it was Eddie Murphy. Yeah.
Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, it's in this reality, it's
Oh,
always
it
been
is
Eddie
Eddie Murphy.
Murphy.
You're
But
right. Yeah.
I remember Chris Rock.
Because they have a similar
He was
voice.
the voice. He was the voice of Donkey,
Mm.
but he's never been it. And in this
Now
article,
Chris
Yeah.
Rock's in
they talk about it.
Madagascar, isn't it?
Madagascar. Yeah.
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 And then
You see,
I
that's
remember
where I got confused now.
Evanescence was a solo female artist. She was never a whole band. Does anyone remember that?
Yeah. She was solo.
Yeah, she's never been solo in this reality. Now she's always been part of an
Part of a
entire
band.
And the reason, I proved this in this article, the reason why we see information like this on YouTube, for example, this one, Evanescence featuring Linkin Park, Green Metallica, is because it was actually Linkin Park and her, because she was a solo female artist. So you'll find a lot of videos like this on YouTube where people are thinking, videos from 15 years ago saying this was featuring Linkin Park. It's because that's how it was. But in this reality, it's incorrect information. It's not a mistake. It's because we actually experienced that reality. Now it's part of a hidden world we can't see. So in this whole article, I explain. It's actually linked to this video here on my YouTube channel. I explained the whole Mandela effect regarding that. But yeah, you can find. I'm gonna post more Mandela effect articles here. Theodore Roosevelt used to have a monocle. I don't know if anyone remembers that. I had this photo, this image of him photoshopped to depict him with a monocle. And so I actually present evidence. Here's one evidence, right, of him having the monocle. And in the video, I actually found reality residue. Maybe we can actually watch it real quick. Let's see if we can. Can you guys see it?
Yeah. We can see it.
So you think you know wigs? Do you really?
Do you really?
Mobile games are going big.
And a monocle on a gold chain, glinting in one eye. Roosevelt. And a monocle on a gold chain, glinting in one eye. This is information from a hidden world. The presidents of the United States. It's talking about all the presidents. And if we go to number 26, Theodore Roosevelt is depicted with a monocle there. I believe these two books are the best physical reality residue, proving that Theodore did indeed have a monocle.
Yeah, we see though.
Wearing a monocle. I purchased these on Amazon. You could purchase them too if you want to own a piece of a hidden world.
Shot, yeah. No, that's interesting. But you must just send your link of your site for the people, and if they want to go check it out, they can go.
Yeah, all you do is type in Lost Geo, the 7 characters, lostgeo.com. It'll redirect you to lostgeographic.com.
Awesome.
So you can, it'll be easy to remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a whole bunch of more articles there. I primarily want to focus on geography changes at first for my website, because that's why it's called Lost Geographic, because geography is, we have to connect it to ancient civilizations in order to take this phenomenon to another level, right? Because those are the biggest mysteries of all time: ancient civilization, pyramids on both sides of the world, Eastern Islands, statues, and all this stuff we've never been able to answer. But I realized that in order to actually spread this information or this phenomenon to a wider audience, we have to talk about other Mandela effects that people are going to relate to. You get what I'm saying? And then introduce them to the geography changes and how we can connect it to ancient civilizations. So.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Brian, you still wanted to present more? I think Brian.
Sure. What did you want to get into?
What was the thing
Did you want
last
to go
time?
next? Kind of been all over the place.
We have kind of been. There was something specific last time. I can't remember. I think it was. No, I'm totally blank. But there was something specific you brought up last time that I think was really. Wasn't it about the Statue of Liberty or something?
Well, we just talked about that with Black Tom.
Oh, yeah, that was.
I think that was Brian.
Because I've spoken now because of the explosion at Black Tom. Nobody's ever spoken to people that have been to the torch.
Yeah, because
now that's impossible in this reality, because when it blew up in 1916 with the big explosion that nobody's ever heard of, now nobody's allegedly ever been to the torch.
Yeah, I actually went to investigate this phenomenon back in what was it, 2016 or 2017, because people already were talking about black time explosion in 2016 being the Mandela effect. So I because I'm here in New York City, I immediately, that year went to do an investigation. I actually have the video. There's a video of me doing it on YouTube. Maybe I could present it, but even the people who work on the Liberty Island, the black dude who works there in the video that I'm talking about, he works there. He's worked there for years, and they say that they never teach about the black time explosion. I'm like, really? You never heard of it? I mean, like, that's the reason why the torch is closed and no one's allowed to be up there. They're like, wow, I never heard of it. No, they don't teach us that. I'm like, wow, that's so amazing. You work here. They never teach this. Like, this is a big, significant part of history. Like, how is this not being taught?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I think there's a lot of things that they don't really want to teach to people, to give it to people. Because, I mean, as soon as you're going to see, wait, what we're living in, the reality is changed and it's not what we see, obviously that's going to wake up a whole bunch of people and they're going to figure out, hang on, we're just sheep here. You know what I mean? So you get a lot of people that just follow blindly just because that's how they're taught to think. But I want to ask you guys a question, though, based on this. Would you think the Mandela Effect argument is very important for just people looking at truth?
Of course, it's the biggest thing I've come across yet, and it's the one thing that's not based on all the lies that they gave us. It's now we're witnessing the supernatural aspects of this realm, how matter actually functions and what time actually is. Well, what we were told is obviously fucking bullshit because physical items have retroactively changed all the way back to their origin. Mm-hmm. So if that doesn't fascinate people, I mean, I don't know what really will. I don't know how people can just brush that off. I get when you think it's just about a couple brands or products, and then you're automatically going to assume it's a psyop and the company's changing things, even though you never come back and show us when the company's changed these things, which would be a simple thing to do because all that is highly documentable. You just assume that that's what happened and claim we have done no research. But it's things much bigger than that, like, oh, the land masses of the earth are in the wrong place. Your kidneys are no longer in your lower back. They're now protected behind bones in your rib cage. I mean, those are a huge deal. The engines, like he was showing a minute ago, they used to be underneath the wings, all these commercial airliners. Well, now they're almost hanging off the edge of the front of the fucking wings. And this includes, other than one Boeing 737 exception, this includes all the commercial airliners going all the way back. You can go back decades and even look at planes that the engines were under the wing and you were at the airport and you were at the runway and the plane's behind you in the picture. Well, guess what's going to happen when you pull out the picture? The wing's going to be all the way up in the front. The fact that can take place, the fact that the emblem on my Volkswagen can change and on every Volkswagen in the world, I don't even need the residue. We need the residue to wake up the people that are denying this. Mm-hmm. But for those of us that already know this is real, like when something changes, I know, of course, I'm going to go look for proof to corroborate it. And I'm not loosey-goosey with my Mandela effects. I'm not going to come out and call something a Mandela effect, even if I 100% remember it the other way. If it's something that's mass marketed or people know, or even a map or any of these things, the majority of people I have to pull without giving them any answers, any multiple choice, have them fill in the blanks. The majority of the people, it's got to be like 80 or 90% before I'm even going to consider it being a change, because people can misremember. You can remember something wrong. You could be incorrect about something. We're not saying that can't happen, but it's not happening.
If you can back it up with evidence, reality residue, I mean, you should present it, right? If there's a bunch of reality residue evidence, you should present it.
I present it all the time. Even tonight, I'm going to have a live stream tonight on my channel, and when people send me residue, even though most of it's old changes that most of the community knows about, I continue to show the residue, and it also continues to show the deniers and skeptics how affected they all are, because they all have fucking Mandela effects spewing out their mouths. You know why? Because they all live here in this reality. It's like on your channel, Flatzoid, you talk about flat Earth versus globe Earth all the time, right? Well, they can come out and promote NASA and promote all of that, but the reality of the situation is they still live where we do, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So why are you going to get so far in the game, realize you were lied to about reality on such a deep level, and assume the lie stops there? And not only that, the things that you've learned on your journey about trusting yourself, trusting what you've observed, trusting what you've experienced. Well, I consider these anchor memories of mine things that I've observed, experienced. I'm going to trust that over people telling me I'm misremembering, or there's just different translations of the Bible. We'll go there for a minute, because You think we don't fucking know that there's many translations of the Bible? You think that I think that nobody's manipulated the most mass-produced book in the history of the world along the way for different reasons? You don't think that I know that these things take place? Of course there's many translations, but many of the changes we talk about are universal, as in every translation. And why, if the Mandela Effect is not real, and this is all about Bible translations, why don't you come back and show me your translation that hasn't changed?
Exactly.
Because you're full of shit. That's just stuff you say. And then if you're going to say, well, you guys are just wrong, you're just wrong. You got it through pop culture. People say you got the Lion and the Lamb through pop culture and an Elvis song and Christian rock songs. We've shown residue that goes back 800 years of statues and sculptures made with the lion laying with the lamb, engraved with Isaiah 11:6, so there's no mistaking where it's coming from. If the Mandela Effect was fake, why can I walk up to, and I do, and it's all on video, why can I continually walk up to pastors and preachers and Jehovah's Witnesses on the street and ask them these verses, and every time I never give them an answer, never lead the witness, as they say, I simply have them fill in the blank, and damn near 100% of the time, they all remember exactly what the Mandela Effect community's been saying for years. Now, a lot of them will still deny it, of course, but the reality, and whether you want to say, well, the word of God can't change. Well, I don't know what everybody believes. I don't care what everybody believes, but whether you think God sat down with a fucking fountain pen and wrote the Bible, or you think a giraffe wrote it, or a hippopotamus, or a Terminator fucking robot, the reality of the situation is it's ink on paper and it can change. And it did change. Did it change? Yes. Will you check? Or are you too locked into your paradigm to just say God's word can't change? Because that's brainwashing to me. I'm sorry.
God's word's written on your heart. God's word can't change, but the Bible can. The ink.
Yeah,
Bible's a book.
Yeah, the Bible's just a book.
It's just a book, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Bible I'm not telling you where you need to go with it. If the Bible's changing,
yeah, the Bible, like Michael
exactly.
says, yeah, exactly. The Bible says it foretells the changing, so it's part of it. I mean, who's the ruler of this world? It's Satan, and he's going to do everything in his power to how can I say, do a 180 of God. So he's going to do it. Obviously, that's why I said it's definitely a spiritual thing going on.
The success rate on all these, not just the Bible changes. Anytime I'm in an Uber or, we're coming from one of the Flat Earth events or whatever, I have a meetup, right? Every time I get in an Uber or Lyft, I either talk to them about that or talking about Mandela Effects, right? And I film all of these. They're all on my channel, people. And every time I ask them, like I say to them, hey, when I say Ed McMahon, what image comes to your mind? That's the way I love to ask it. Because then they'll go into detail about, Publishers Clearinghouse delivering giant checks, going to people's doors with a giant check and balloons. And it's like, well, in this reality, he never worked for Publishers Clearinghouse, and he never brought giant checks and balloons to winner's doors, even for the other company he worked for. So you can't even just say, we're mixing up the companies. They say all of this to me. I did a meetup in Greenville, South Carolina, where I went out on the street, and I was feeling pretty nice. And I was like, I let it off different this time. I said, and if you remember Ed McMahon working for Publishers Clearinghouse, then they'll call you crazy or whatever. And this guy just froze in the street. And he's like, not only do I remember him working for Publishers Clearinghouse, I remember with my grandfather filling out the stamps and things and trying to think we were going to win. And then I would think he was going to come to the door with a big check and balloons. I said, well, he's never went to anybody's house with a big check and balloons. And the amount of residual evidence on it is substantial. So for the people that want to say, it's just parody was done wrong once and everybody ran with it. It's like Ed McMahon did a rap video in 2009 with freecreditreport.com where he's literally driving around in a white van, which is what the prize patrol vans look like. And he's rapping about how he needs to collect back the giant check he gave people. He goes to the door, rings the doorbell and says, I need back that giant check.
Yeah.
But I mean, even when you think about when you're talking about the VW logo, I mean, I did a full restoration on an old minibus, and even while I was doing that restoration, I remember the logo being full, no cut or line in between it, perforation, nothing. It's really odd.
Totally, dude.
It is.
I mean, I can physically remember holding the logo in my hand, and I didn't see any. It's one logo. There's no perforation, nothing.
I got something to let me get the screen share again for people that don't know. Just this real basic stuff. I want you to think of the Ford logo, people. 1 second. I don't want to put it on the screen yet.
Oh,
all right.
The pigtail?
Yeah, well, I was going to ask them what they remember the Ford logo looking like. Want people to picture the Ford logo. Now I'll bring it up. The Ford logo was totally this bottom one, 100%.
Yeah, I agree.
And now look at the F on Ford with this curly thing on it. Now, first thing a Mandela Effect denier is going to say, first thing I already know that they're thinking is they remember the bottom. I already know that you guys remember this bottom. It's more familiar. I don't think the O was open, but the F was like this, okay? But now I'm telling you it's like this in this reality. So you're going to think, well, the car company changed their emblem. Well, I'm going to tell you that no, you can go outside and look at a 1968 F-150 in your fucking driveway, and if it still has the emblem on it, well, it's going to have this curly thing on there. And nobody came in and switched it out over the night, went to everybody's house, switched out all their emblems and Bibles, changed up your Star Wars movies, did open heart surgery on you, moved your kidneys. No. Reality's fluid.
It's weird. Yeah, I remember that as well. It's insane. And I mean, I work on a lot of Fords. There's the logo.
There's the Volkswagen.
Check there. You see what I'm saying?
The one on the right is what it was. I mean, this is on the back of my first brand new car I ever bought. Now they're all broken like this. And in many cases, it's much more pronounced, like this image right here.
There we go.
It looks like it's just it's so disgusting looking. But now they're all like that.
But I mean,
strange.
It's crazy.
Strange looking.
I mean, you think when you're in the car culture club, they usually take the VW and they got the two women with the legs open next to each other, because that's what it was representing, the closed. It wasn't an open in between.
Yeah.
But which one would you say is correct, Brian? The way it is now, or the one we remember? It's correct. Look, I mean, I would say the one we see now is actually correct, right? Because the V&W is separated.
Well, what do you mean by correct?
Correct. Sorry. I should elaborate. Correct in the sense that it actually now you can actually see what the symbol actually means. Like it's a V and a W rather than it being connected. You can't really tell what it is. If you had no idea about Volkswagen, you wouldn't be able to know what it is by looking at the logo, right? But now you know what it is.
You're saying the design of the logo makes the two letters stick out more, and you can kind of recognize it more.
Exactly. There's a separation there, so now you can actually. I would say in this reality now it's actually correct. You know how the Chick-fil-A never had a K before. In this reality now it's correct because it's spelled correctly. So that's what I'm referring to. Yeah.
So now you're saying it's got a distinct V and it's a distinct W sort of thing. Yeah.
Right. It's disconnected from the V from the W. The V and W are not attached to each other. So now it's technically correct in this reality. This is the
I guess.
But no, I agree on this Mandela effect. It was definitely connected though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the classic one. I know it's been done beat to death, but just again, for people that still say there's no legitimate changes in this reality, I mean, I want everybody to think, and don't anybody say anything, but I want the audience to think what the Fruit of the Loom logo looks like. The massive international company. It's all over the world that millions, probably billions of people in their lives have had products from. And this, I'll just bring it up now. Everybody's had time to think.
Because I almost used the Fruit of the Loom for my background for the stream.
Yeah, that would have been good. I mean, it's such a huge, this could be like a top 5 Mandela effect. So this is what so many of us remember, okay, the cornicopia behind the fruit. Now, real quick, to show you what it is now, which is just ridiculous. It's just
so plain.
And it's always been, it's so stupid.
Well,
so why would we remember
when I was at school, Brian, we had to wear uniform, a blazer, shirt, tie, jumper, and everybody had Fruit of the Loom jumpers.
Yeah. So like, why, if we were all misremembering, let's play the game for a minute that the deniers come at. Oh, they're all just confabulating and misremembering and thinking there was a cornucopia there. Why would millions of people around the world, who many have never talked to each other, anything, all have a memory of fucking thing so weird as a cornucopia behind the logo of the fruit on their underwear that they saw every day if that never happened. That's number one. Another thing that they'll say is, oh, well, you're just getting it from Thanksgiving images. No. First of all, this is in a lot of countries that don't celebrate Thanksgiving. Second of all, this still brings no recollection. I get what you're saying now, I guess, but definitely wasn't mixing my underwear up with Thanksgiving images. And then they've even said, if you go and look at the history now, right, of the Fruit of the Loom logo, there's different variations of it, none with the cornucopia, but some of it have brown leaves behind it. Like in the 50s, there's a couple brown leaves, and people say that we're mixing the leaves up with the cornucopia. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm very familiar with what leaves look like. I'm not going to assume they're a fucking cornucopia, right?
Well,
Many children have no idea what a cornucopia was until they saw it on their underwear and then ask questions.
Yeah, because I've had them having excuse to me and saying it's just psychological, because you imagine when you look at fruit and things, it will be in a cornucopia or something. So you imagine the cornucopia being there when it wasn't really there. It's psychological, which is bullshit. I'm sorry. That's just nonsense.
Yeah, so where's all the people that remember it being in a bowl? Because that's the first thing I would think of, not a fucking cornucopia,
Exactly.
right? Give me a break.
Like a fruit
And
bowl,
if you go on TikTok, so again, there's a huge trolling it by these companies. If you go on TikTok and go to the Fruit of the Loom official channel on TikTok, they have about 20 videos mocking the Mandela Effect, where they got this talking cornucopia saying how bad he wants to be in the logo, but he just couldn't be in it, and blah, 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 blah. It's just endless mockery, dude. And it's such an obvious Mandela Effect. So what am I claiming? I'm claiming if you own a Fruit of the Loom product, you take it out right now, there's not going to be a cornucopia on it. I don't care if you saw it there yesterday.
But I mean, yeah, they can easily just put it in if they want it so bad. It looks much better with it, by the way.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even to where they copied it with parody with the flute of the Loom. You know that the song cover or whatever it was, an album cover of some sort. Yeah, it made that look very similar to a cornucopia. You know, yeah, it definitely had a cornucopia. Because, like you said, Brian, I didn't know what a cornucopia was until I had the Fruit of the Loom top. It was actually a top I had. The first Fruit of the Loom thing I had, it was a sweater, as you'd call it. And that's what I seen it on. That's when I seen it on. That was about, if I remember rightly, about 1997, early 97. And it definitely had a cornucopia.
Yeah,
but
so
I didn't know what a cornucopia was until because of Fruit of the Loom, I know what a cornucopia is. Yeah.
Look how many people we were talking about name changes earlier, and you look around the truth community, wherever you guys are, you know, Telegram, Facebook, whatever, Twitter, I don't know, yeah, everybody's at different places. But look how many people still call the fucking guy Joel Osteen when his name's never been Joel Osteen now in this reality.
Yeah, Osteen, I remember that one. I remember
look how many Mandela Effect deniers I pointed out in the communities, right? How many people that deny the Mandela Effect that I repeatedly pointed out because they keep calling him Joel Osteen. It's hilarious. I love seeing these guys melt down like that Owen Benjamin clown. Seeing him melt down over the Mandela Effect is beautiful because he has Mandela Effect spew out of his mouth every show.
Yeah.
I think I found a new Mandela Effect recently, Brian, and I want you to give me an answer, right? Because this one blew me as soon as I found the Theodore Roosevelt Monica Mandela Effect, because that's 100% for me, and I provide evidence. This one blew my mind. So who was the president before George Bush, the second one, the son? Who was the president before it? What's his name?
Before the son?
Yeah, before the son. Like before 9/11.
Oh, Obama, right? No, was it Obama?
No, before 9/11, 2001. Who was the president before that, George Bush?
Didn't it go Reagan and then Bush Sr.?
Okay, and then
how about Clinton?
Okay.
Oh yeah, Clinton. Yeah.
Okay, what's his first name?
Bill.
No, it's not Bill.
What do you mean it's not Bill?
It's not Bill Clinton.
Well, what's his first name now if it's not Bill Clinton?
It's always been William.
Well, William is Bill. That's the same name, dude.
No, it was always Bill. I never heard William my whole entire life.
Yeah, but Bill is a short.
Bill is short for William.
But think about this. Why would someone's name who's William be nicknamed Bill? Why didn't you just call it William?
Well, my dad's called William, and he gets called Billy. Well,
Bill
when
is
he's
short
alive.
for Will.
So
Like
everyone's known him as William Clinton, except everyone calls him Bill for some reason.
Yeah, definitely Bill, definitely known as Bill Clinton.
Yeah, dude,
I'm calling
that's
that a
definitely
Mandela
what they
effect for me because my entire life I never heard him called William Clinton before. Ever. Why would we call him Bill? Like,
I definitely can't agree with that because I have a friend named Bill that his name's William. I mean, that's just a common short.
I'll search on residue if I want. I'll present evidence to other people.
It's like when somebody's called Richard and you call him Dick.
Yeah, if you go to his Twitter account, it shows Bill. It doesn't say William. You would think he would add his real name, but his Twitter account also says just Bill. Like, why would you refer to yourself as your nickname? You know, you like Barack Obama. He's Barack, right? George is George, right? Like, so that was mind blowing for me. That's a personal one, I guess, right? And I'm pretty sure I can find evidence to prove that case.
Well, you're gonna find his name both ways because his name's William and Bill. I mean,
Well, there's ways to search for reality residue, right? Keywords, right? If I could go to Twitter or maybe some YouTube videos and type in thought his name was only Bill, then if I could find a lot of it, clearly people exactly remember just learning just Bill. They never heard of Will.
I gotta be honest. I've known many people named Bill, and none of them have been just named Bill. They've all been William, Bill for short.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm pretty sure I could find evidence. I'll just have to create a video. So, but yeah, that was mind blowing for me. William, never heard of William my whole entire life, bro. It's crazy.
Oh, sorry, what did I miss? I just cleared through runoff. So, do you guys have anything specific you still want to talk about, or?
Well, while we're on names, we're about Gordon Ramsay.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in the chat spell how you remember Gordon Ramsay. And everybody knows who that guy is.
Yeah, I like that one. I also like the one with the Tutankhamun.
Oh, that's huge.
I love that one as well.
I gave my presentation for that event in Mexico in Acapulco. It's in like 2 weeks, and we had to keep chopping it down because it was so long, so much longer than they wanted us to send it originally. Me and Shiva Shampoo made it, and when I re-edited it the last time, I fucking left King Tut out. Dude. Such a big one, so obvious.
Hey, Flatzoids, can I share my screen real quick? So what I was referring to before when I went to the Statue of Liberty, this is the gentleman that actually works there. So we're going to listen to what he says.
Okay.
I mean, have you ever heard of, there was a German spy attack that took place in 1916?
German spy attack?
Yeah, there was a terrorist attack right across the Little River right here on the Jersey, and it destroyed parts of the torch and the skirt.
Wow.
Did you ever know that?
No, I didn't.
How long have you been working here at the Statue of Liberty?
I've been here for like 3 years.
3 years, and you've never known that?
Never. They don't even put it in the story.
Really?
In the little book.
Yeah, it's all over the internet. There was a German spy attack in 1916 and I don't know if you know, the torch is closed.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why it's been closed for over 100 years.
Oh, really?
Did you know that?
No, they actually told us something completely different.
And you've been working here for 3 years?
Yeah, about 3 years.
That's amazing.
You know, this guy's a tour guide. He's been working here for supposedly 3 years, he said, and he had no idea about the black tom explosion that destroyed or damaged parts of the skirt and torch, and that's the reason why the torch has been closed for 100 years. You know,
That's insane.
So yeah.
I mean, how do you work for a place, especially 3 years? You don't even have the information for that.
You don't have, no one's being taught that at the Statue of Liberty, but that's the reason why no one's allowed to the torch. You would think they would teach why you can't go to the damn torch, right? Like, so it's not being taught.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like hidden. It's like,
yeah, it's
crazy.
Insane.
People who work there too. This is not just some regular person walking by on the island, right? It's just, he actually works there.
Yeah, so I mean, if you've been there 3 years, you would think by now you know everything of what's going on there. But people aren't taught about this, like you said.
Exactly.
Brian, I see with the Gordon Ramsay, everyone's spelling it the same way.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of the new A in there, but yeah, it's with an A now, not an E.
That's crazy.
To me, it's always been an A.
Yeah, Ramsay, like
see.
Ramsay.
You can find loads of residue on Gordon Ramsay as well.
Yeah, it's mad. It's just mad. It's just Mandela affects different people in different ways. It's crazy.
Yeah, just look
But,
for
I mean,
reviews on TripAdvisor or something. People will be calling him Gordon Ramsay, and all the links, the hyperlinks, have changed to Ramsay.
His daughter was on Come Dancing or some other crap like that a couple of years ago, and her name was spelt right way.
It's insane.
But Flatzoid, I'm gonna have to bounce out pretty
Yeah.
soon because I got maintenance coming by for something in probably about 10 minutes or so. So
Yeah, the show's only going to
When
go
they
for
come
about
by.
13 minutes anyway, so.
It's about
But I will be live tonight. I have another show later on tonight. so-
Quickly, that's another big one for me before you go, Brian. Dilemma. I mean,
yeah, dilemma.
Dilemma.
A silent N in it.
I remember my primary school teacher teaching me to spell
With a-
dilemma.
Well, I used
Dilemma.
to say dilemma for laughing, you know what I mean? Cause
Yeah, it definitely had an N before. It was never.
Yeah,
double
because
N.
I used to ask, why does it have the silent N for what? It
N.
doesn't make sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. I always used to say dilemma, like just to
Yeah.
remember the spelling. Yeah.
Yeah, so think about what people would have to say we're misremembered or confabulate and that. It's like the word, when you pronounce it, it's dilemma, and it would sound like an M or two M's or whatever. You wouldn't think there was an N in there. So why would so many people insert a silent N into the middle of this word where it's never belonged? That was the case. And then the memories, like you said, PJ, many people have memories of learning to like kind of mispronouncing it on purpose to remember how to spell it. Like that's crazy anchor memory for something that's never happened allegedly, right?
Exactly.
Just, but I also agree with this awesome town, Matt. How about surprise? I also remember surprise with the R. Well, with a P, just surprise.
I know
the
Sovereign
R.
Soul agrees with him.
Well, I don't know if that
I
was just South
remember-
African slang or something, but was surprise without the R.
How about this one? I think I found this one. Sorry, I think I found this. I think this one is a Mandela effect because the word delve. Is it delve or dwelve?
Delve.
No one remembers it. Never remembers the W after the D.
No.
There's
Delve.
reality residue. There's other people saying dwelve. I mean, you could just type in hashtag dwelve on Twitter. You're gonna see people saying it the way I remember it is with a W. Well,
Do you know it's weird? I think I remember both of that, dwelve and delve. I think dwelve is a way of saying it, old English way of saying it, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah,
like
that's how you
betwixt.
pronounce it too, is with a W, dwelve. Let's dwelve into
Yeah.
whatever, like it's not.
Yeah, I
It's
have
not
heard
even let's delve. It was dwelve.
Yeah, no, I have had dwelve. I've had both, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's never been
Yeah.
dwelve. You can fact check it on Google.
Right. Wow.
So I mean, we're gonna agree on some changes. We're not gonna agree on all of them. We're not. So
No,
essentially
exactly.
what the Mandela effect is proving that we're not all seeing the same thing. We're experiencing different things. That's what it's proving.
Yeah. A lot used to be a word, and now you have to have a space between the A and the lot.
That's
Yep.
so true.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And that, not only that, I just said definitely, and definitely is another one. You definitely have an A. It's an A, definitely.
Now I know why the Globers say horizontal curves, guys. They're trying to change it.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of vocabulary words that change. Till, another one is till. I remember it was just
with
TIL.
two L's. Yeah, now it's
Yeah,
two. Now
now
it's two
it's-
L's.
Now it's double L.
Mm-hmm.
Another
Yeah, I've
one.
seen that a lot.
For me, the God Atlas is a change, but Michael doesn't agree. So
Atlas.
he always held up the sky as a sheet of the night sky.
Hmm.
Now he's holding up a globe on his shoulder, which makes no sense. He was holding up the sky, which was always the story. And there is residue for him holding up the sky as a blanket, standing on Mount Olympus. Now he's holding up a globe on his shoulders.
Or how about that? That's also one that reminds you, the thinking statue. Brian, you
Yeah,
want to present
good
that
one,
quickly before you go? I love that one.
Yeah, sure. I can bring that up real quick.
I love that one.
Especially with it.
Because I'm thinking
photograph of the
of
woman.
Arnie now.
Yeah. And then you've got
Yeah.
the photo of the lady next to it, and she's doing a different pose from the statue. That's brilliant.
That's the one of my favorites as well.
Yeah, I'm getting to it right now.
Awesome.
Well, and this one is a great example of how photographs and videos actually will change to correlate with the current reality. You know, so if you basically what I'm saying is if you photograph or videotaped something before it was Mandela affected and changed, well, your photo and video is going to change anyways. It's like you're going to be like, look, I have this video. I filmed the screen of this movie and it still says, you know, the old way. No, that's not going to work for you. So the Thinker statue, first of all, this is obviously Arnold Schwarzenegger back in the day. This is how the Thinker statue used to be posed. The Thinker statue by Rodin, and yes, they are a bunch of them all over the world now, but they are all posed the same way now in reality. And this is what the pose was. I wasn't going to do a Q&A with the chat because we're going to get out of here in a few minutes, but this is what I remember the pose as well, with the right fist to the forehead and the elbow to the right knee. It's also become an iconic pose in bodybuilding now since that time. Now, I could sit here for days and show you various people posing that way, but I want to show you something a little more significant. So let's have a look at what this is. So this woman is in front of one of the Thinker statues. The Thinker statue is now changed. His hand is now under his chin, and it's not really a fist, and there's various other little things going on, but let's just say we'll stick to the hands not under the chin, and also this elbow is actually coming over this leg now, so he's crossed up. We'll get a better front view after. But the big thing is the hand isn't to the head, like Arnold had it. It's now under the chin. And she's in front of it, taking a picture. Yet, she has her fist to her head. Now, why would she have her fist to the head if the statue is right there and the fist is under the chin?
Exactly.
Now, that's not the only example of that. So you have this guy doing the same idea, okay? And here's a better example of what the statue looks like. You can see the front. Now, look at his arm. He's contorted now, where his right elbow is coming over to his left knee.
And it looks so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense.
It looks. So what I'm saying is that woman, this guy, and, well, this entire field trip of school children, which we're about to look at, when they visited these statues, they indeed had the hand to the head.
Mm-hmm.
This one clearly doesn't either. Same way, under the chin. I know it's grainy, but that's under the chin, crossed over. And look at all the children posing in front of it with the teacher or whoever that is taking their photo. Why isn't he saying, hey, all of you are for some weird reason doing it the wrong way?
Yeah, and I mean, their elbows on the right knee, their arm is crossed to the right knee, just like it was supposed to be. As I said, the new one that you're looking at, it just looks uncomfortable. Why would you be crossing your right arm under your chest like this to the left knee? It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian, I've seen these photos before. May I ask you, like, where did you find these or someone else found these?
I didn't personally find them, though. I don't remember who exactly first found them.
It would be great to actually have the link to where these pictures are actually being presented, so that way people won't claim, oh, well, you're actually looking at a photoshopped image. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In case the people who would deny these photos. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't really know. Yeah, it wouldn't hurt to have the source for anything ever. It's always a good idea. I don't happen to have it, though.
Yeah. So that way you could be like, oh, well, you think this is Photoshop? Go to this link and you'll see that that's what it's being presented. These people, so, you could prove it to deniers out there.
Yeah. Well, I guess.
Thanks, Nestor.
No, but thank you guys for coming. It was an awesome show. I know Brian also has to go now.
Yeah, I gotta get going. But anybody that's new to me that doesn't know, I will be live tonight on my channel and 4 hours from now, 8 p.m. Eastern my time.
Yeah, guys, do if you haven't already, I guess most of the people anyway subscribe to you. But guys, go watch his shows. He has awesome shows. Definitely well worth it. Yeah. Then I want to say thank you for coming on, Brian. Really appreciate it, man. Been wanting this for a long time, and it's definitely was well overdue.
I think Brian's link's just gone go as well.
I'll put it up.
Yeah, it's
Oh, there's Brian's link, guys. If you want to click on it, if you haven't subscribed to him already, and just share it, maybe. Just click it and share it on your every platform you can. Yeah, I think this is really awesome stuff. Is there anything specific you're talking about tonight, Brian?
It's going to be pretty. So I do talk about other stuff, but mostly the Mandela Effect tonight is going to be pretty much all Mandela Effect and some experiences I had with people face to face with the Mandela Effect over the last week is going to be kind of the focus of it. And probably take some phone calls, and I might have a couple of people hop up on the panel.
Nice, nice. I would watch it live, but I'll be sleeping. I mean, I do get up at 4 a.m. for my exercises, so I do need some rest.
Yeah, you do.
But I appreciate you coming on, man. Really appreciate you, and keep up all the great work.
Yes.
And yeah, pretty much blessings.
Thank
to
you.
man.
Yeah, we'll do it again sometime too.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and you owe me a show on my channel too, Flatzoid.
Oh yeah, just let me know when we can try and organize it. I'm more than happy.
Hey,
to.
nice to meet everyone. Nice to see you, Brian, and thanks for allowing me to present my.
Nice to meet you, man.
Dude, nice to meet you too, Lost, and definitely, guys, go subscribe to Lost as well. And I think he's got some awesome content as well, and his website as well. Thanks for coming on, by the way. It's always cool to meet you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers, man.
See you later.
Bye. So yeah, I think it was a cool show. It was nice.
Yeah, that was good.
But I mean, yeah, if you just think about it, I don't know how people can look at stuff like this and just say, "Oh, you guys are crazy."
Yeah.
It's like, how much evidence do you have to present to a person?
So like my Mandela Effects, my short list, I have a list of where I take because I stream for hours and hours. But I condensed like some videos I call my short list with this like 15 to 30-minute video about one Mandela Effect. And I have 125 or so videos on that list. I suggest people check that out. Those are all Mandela Effects that I will die on the hill for that changes. And again, I won't call something a Mandela Effect unless the majority of people I ask about it, unless it's a personal thing, well, we can talk about that as well, of course. But, anything that people should know one way or another, if they all remember it, the current reality, it's not going to be on my channel as a Mandela Effect. So I feel that one of the things with Mandela Effects, discernment needs to be had. It's one of the reasons I started doing a lot of Mandela Effect content. There were already a lot of good channels covering like flat earth and other things at the time and really focusing on that. And I'm like, a lot of the stuff I saw out there presented as Mandela Effects was real wishy-washy type stuff, not all of it, because there were definitely a few good channels, but there was a lot of that going on. There still is, so just like with anything, any topic, you're going to find channels that, are loosey-goosey with their proofs, right? And then and sometimes that'll reflect on the whole thing. So I try and keep a tight community, even though I do know tons of people, like the people that I actually have come on and stuff like that. So, just come over and check out my short list is what I would suggest to anybody, because I do feel that those are very, very, very strong Mandela Effects. And I'll have a list of about 200 going up on my website really soon. We're almost done. In fact, I was working on the website yesterday. The document's actually done. I just got to do some more editing to it, and it'll be up on my website soon because people are looking for a list. I generally don't like lists because I just don't want too much stuff to end up on there. And I'm not taking really advice from too many other people because I want to make sure it's rock solid. So that'll be up soon, and I'll let people know.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah,
Awesome.
definitely. Keep us updated with that. I'd love to go into the site when it's done.
Yeah.
Definitely. But yeah,
All
thanks.
right, guys. Thank you. I'm going to bounce out. I got to get going. And
Cheers for coming, Brian. Take care, man.
Yeah. Nice one.
Cheers, Brian. Thanks for
All
coming,
right,
man. Appreciate it. And then, yeah, you guys, any final words before we close off?
That was awesome.
No,
Brilliant.
just
Fantastic.
look into it with an open mind. Don't just simply hand wave it,
Yeah, and like when it comes to the Bible and that, I mean, yes, God's word is God's word. God's word is on your heart. That doesn't change. And Jesus is God's word, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
The Bible can't. It's ink. It's a bit of paper. At the end of the day, it's what it means is the important
But
thing.
what I find really amazing though, even though they try and change things like the message doesn't change. It's impossible to change the actual message. So that tells you something.
That's the point.
No, because I've read like crazy fanatic Mandela Effect types say, your Bible's no good, don't read it anymore. That's bunk, like.
But yeah, well, thanks guys all
But
for coming.
what I will say about Dolly's braces is the reason they fell in love was because she had braces and he had metal teeth.
Exactly.
That's a big thing in my childhood. Dolly's braces. I really that at the end of the film.
For Dolly not to have braces anymore, then
You would not find it over there. Yeah, it was because of the braces.
Yeah, exactly right.
So yeah, just want to say thank you guys for coming. Appreciate it. I think it was an awesome show. Appreciate everybody in YouTube land. Thank you for coming. Thank you for hitting the likes and share. If you haven't already, please do hit the likes. Thank you to all the new subscribers that came in. I think we got something like 40 extra subscribers tonight, which is really great. Yeah. So guys, see you again for another epic stream tomorrow night. Many, many blessings, and may the pressure be with you. Cheers.
Right.